June 11, 1955. A day that was supposed to be filled with exhilaration and speed at the Le Mans Grand Prix in France turned into a nightmare that shook the world of motorsport forever. The race began with thundering engines and the promise of an exciting day ahead. The crowd was alive with anticipation. Spectators from all over the world had gathered to witness the prestigious Le Mans 24-hour race, a showcase of the fastest cars and most skilled drivers. Le Mans, a race that pushed cars and drivers to their limits, with a track that demanded both speed and precision. In a split second, a mistake on the track set off a chain reaction that would change the course of history. But as the race progressed, tragedy lurked around the corner, waiting to strike. In a split second, a mistake on the track set off a chain reaction that would change the course of history. Pierre Levegh, behind the wheel of the Mercedes, fought to regain control, but it was too late. The car lifted off the track, soaring through the air at terrifying speed. With a devastating impact, the car slammed into the grandstand, sending debris and fire into the crowd. In the blink of an eye, the grandstand turned into a scene of unimaginable horror. Chaos erupted as spectators scrambled for safety, desperately trying to escape the carnage. Emergency crews rushed to the scene, but the scale of the disaster was overwhelming. When the smoke finally cleared, the true extent of the tragedy was revealed. 82 spectators lost their lives that day, and over 100 others were injured in one of the deadliest accidents in motorsport history. The world mourned for the victims, and memorials were held to honor those who lost their lives. The Le Mans organizers faced intense scrutiny as questions were raised about the safety of the event. The disaster dominated headlines across the globe as the public demanded answers and accountability. In the wake of the tragedy, sweeping changes were made to improve safety in motorsports, but the memory of that day remained etched in history. Motorsport had always been about glory, speed, and courage, but the 1955 Le Mans disaster was a stark reminder of the inherent dangers. A memorial was erected at the Le Mans circuit, ensuring that the victims would never be forgotten. Today, racing has evolved, with safety measures in place to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again. Pierre Levegh, the driver at the center of the tragedy, was also remembered as a pioneer of the sport. Despite the tragedy, motorsport fans returned to Le Mans year after year, drawn by the undying spirit of the race. The 1955 Le Mans disaster remains a dark chapter in the history of motorsport, a reminder of the fragile line between thrill and tragedy. Today, the Le Mans circuit continues to host races, with the memory of 1955 never far from the minds of those who attend. Motorsport has endured, evolved, and emerged stronger, but the lessons learned from 1955 will never be forgotten. As the sun sets over Le Mans, we remember the lives lost and the sacrifices made, ensuring that the tragedy of 1955 will never be repeated. The 1955 Le Mans disaster left an indelible mark on the world of motorsport. As we look back, We honor the memory of those who were lost and continue to strive for safety and excellence in this high-speed world. Thank you for joining us in remembering this tragic event.